Welcome, welcome. Happy for you guys to join us. We'll wait for people to start hopping on here. Today's going to be fun, exciting. Got a friend of mine who's joining us on the live today. So here, we'll just give everyone a minute or so to hop in. I'll open up the chat. I want you guys to be there you go, the chat. Do not be shy. Today, we're going to be talking about an awesome tool. We're going to be talking about Privy. Like I said, an awesome tool software. Mel and I use it. It helps us find deals across the U.S. You're going to hear Benson talk today. He's one of the co-founders, and he'll be chatting about all the bells and the whistles. And I'm probably not using it to its full extent, but yeah, do not be shy, guys. Ask some questions. Like I said, we have the co-founder Benson here from Privy, and he's going to be explaining some stuff. And actually, we met in person in Tampa Bay, Florida, in September. Awesome guy. We're part of a mastermind together. Yeah, great guy, and looking forward to introducing you to him. So again, do not be shy. I know people are still kind of logging in. Do not be shy. Ask some questions away. That's the whole purpose of today. And this tool, the software, is meant to help you find some deals and continue along on your real estate investing journey. So help me in welcoming Benson here. I'll bring him in. Welcome, Benson, to the live here. Hey, Benson.
Hello. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, not much. Just, the typical Wednesday of life of a real estate investor, talking to the accountants and all that stuff. And now talking to you, my friend. What's up?
Love it. Doing fantastic. Out here in sunny Colorado, enjoying the crisp weather. I'm doing the family mastermind 25-minute a day challenge. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you got to get out there and move around for at least 25 minutes every day for the month. And it helps just to know there's a little bit extra accountability there, which is why, you guys are so successful with your coaching program, is that accountability is such a key part of, sometimes taking action. So, whenever I have opportunities to do things like that, join like an accountability group or, be part of something, it does help me personally to take action.
Yeah, no, bang on. Yeah, accountability is huge. New Year's just around the corner, so people are going to start setting their goals. And that's why I thought, yeah, accountability, setting goals, right? You can't achieve things if you don't know where you're going. And that's why I thought, Benson, good segue into kind of what we're going to be chatting today. That's why I thought, you know what? 2024 is just around the corner. People need some tools, some software, some why not have them lending hand? And I thought, you know what, let's go live with Privy. Let's chat about it so people can get in, get rocking and rolling, get used to it, and have the best year of their lives, right? Start 2024 with a bang.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great thing. I'm excited to be here and share some information with everybody. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I don't know if you're able to share your screen at some point, or if you want me to share mine, I can always log in as well. But
yeah, I can share my screen.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking maybe events, because I've done a couple would like to share their screen. So there we go. Boom. I've done a couple like this too, where I share my screen, and I'm sure you are too. I'm visual, Benson. If you can start showing people exactly what it looks like and what it does. If anyone here is visual like me, they'll be like, hey, proof is in the pudding. I can see what it does, and people love that kind of stuff.
For sure. Awesome. Are we ready to get started?
Yeah, let's rock and roll. People will come in as they see, and let's people that are here, let's roll.
Cool. Well, you guys, welcome. I really appreciate being here. My name is Benson Juarez. I'm one of the owners of Privy. I've actually been in the business for over 20 years now. So for 20 years, I've been, seeing different strategies. I've seen different markets. I've seen great markets. I've seen down markets. I've personally experienced some hardship, especially in the last downturn. A lot of people just weren't prepared for how that mortgage crisis was going to affect, inventory and foreclosures. And so I've been through some hard times and some great times. And, Privy was actually born out of during one of those downturns in the market when there was a lot of REO properties, foreclosures. And, what we found as investors and also licensed real estate agents is that the strategies that we were using in our normal business, like going into the MLS and running comps there and searching for deals and, attempting to track investment activity, just wasn't viable through normal means. And so we approached the MLS to see if we could get access to a raw data feed so that we could automate the process of analyzing properties, or running comps, searching for deals. And that's what got us here today. And so we've been around for over 10 years. We started off just right here in Colorado. We're now nationwide, and we've actually got direct to MLS data in over 100 markets. And why that's so significant is that the most accurate data that you want to use to analyze your properties should be the same data that agents and appraisers use, because it's the most up to date. It comes with rich photos, property descriptions. You can see, who the agents are that are investor friendly. You can see who the investors are who are doing deals. And so that's always a valuable part of any strategy, is really understanding the local market realities, and the direct to MLS data is the best to do that.
Yeah. And I love that your software does that, Benson. Like, I remember when you were saying it's direct MLS, even I think you have some direct property management companies as well, or property managers.
We do.
For like, I know, like that's, and I'm sure you'll dive into it, but that was such a huge thing to me, is when I'm running my comps and I'm literally building out my exit strategies and seeing what my after repair value is going to be. The fact that you're able to give me real time, accurate from property managers, the actual rental rates of the units in the surrounding area. And I love how you can really dial in and see, do you want it a mile away, 2 miles? Like what that makes my underwriting very, so much more accurate, right? When I know exactly I'm getting the pulse.
Oh, it really does. It makes a huge difference. And, entrepreneurs and, specifically real estate investors, whether you're doing wholesale or fix and flip or buy and hold, we're known for hacking situations, right? That's what we do great as entrepreneurs, but sometimes that can serve us and sometimes it holds us back. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to try to figure out how to do stuff on the cheap, right? If I hear about a software, I'm like, is there a free way of doing this? Right. And so the way that investors do it is they'll go out and they'll try to use sites like Zillow or Redfin to try to get access to information that will help them analyze properties and search for deals. But it's not designed for that. And if, as much as we want to try to hack those situations, there's a time and a place for using professional business tools that were designed for real estate investing. And that's what Privy is. We take all the raw data in from public records, county record data. We get this property management data for cash flow information, rents, and analyzing rental properties. And then also the data that comes from MLS, and we put it all in one place. So now you don't have to go searching around for different things, and everything is up to date. So you can be confident in your numbers. And that's one of the biggest things that I found that came out of this, Dave, was the ability to get accurate information so you can be confident about your numbers.
I agree. I'm seeing some questions in here. Benson, did you want to go into questions, or did you want to kind of do like more of like a live kind of demo? I'd like you to see I'd love for you to do a demo.
Yeah, I'll jump into the demo real quick here. I just want to kind of set the stage.
Yeah,
Typically I'll use slides for that, but I wanted to kind of just jump in and just have it more conversational. But yeah, I do see some questions here too. And just right out of the gates, Jason, no, this is not set up to work in Canada. This is if you are anywhere in the world and you want to do deals inside the US, then this is going to be the best way to help you, do that. Okay. It does work for any other strategy though. So I tell people that Privy is exit strategy agnostic. This will work for fix and flip, buy and hold, wholesale, creative finance like subject to or seller finance, and anything in between. So regardless of what your exit strategy is, Privy's data and our features and functionality will help you execute doing local market research, finding deals, tracking properties. You can get off-market deals, on-market deals. And so I'll jump into that right now and kind of show you how that works. Let's see here. View tab. I don't know why this is at the top there. In any case, so this is Privy, you guys. It's a web-based application. You can use it on your computer. You can use it on your mobile device. We have a mobile optimized version of Privy. So if you're in the field driving for dollars or whatever, and you come across a property that you want to run comps on, you can just simply enter the address right in here, the search bar, and Privy will analyze that property, pull comparables for you, pull out all that information I told you about earlier into one report called a CMA. And I'll show you more about that in a second. Where you see the blue on the map is where we've already negotiated direct to MLS data contracts. So this is directly with the MLS. So they send us that raw data. So it's the most up-to-date and accurate information that's available anywhere. And we have it available in our system. Where you see yellow and black is either what's called third-party listing data, or which it would be public record or county record data. And that would be what you would find in like a PropStream or like a Batch Leads or one of those other great platforms. But what we do is we actually stack on top of that the direct to MLS data to really improve the accuracy of the info, give you more rich information so you can better analyze properties and feel more confident in your numbers. So right now, at the majority of the areas where people are investing, we've got that data. And one of the things I realized early on, Dave, was that most investors choose their market to invest in based off of what's close, right? Proximity, where they live. So what I would suggest to people, and if there's one thing you take away from today, is that I would change your paradigm on how you look for deals. It isn't what list you're pulling is the most important thing. It isn't if you're doing ringless voicemail or wholesale, or if you're doing cold calling. All of those strategies matter. But the fact of the matter is you could be the best marketer or the best salesperson in the world. But if you're looking for deals in South Dakota, for example, you're going to have a really hard time having any success because the ingredients to build a deal are not present or are not as plentiful in certain areas rather than others. And the way we track that is over here on the left, we've got these buttons. So if I click this button right here at the top, what this does is it plots on the map where all the investor activity is nationwide. Now this has fix and flip. Now I'm not suggesting that you have to do fix and flip, but if you're measuring your deal, how good it is based off of, 70% of the ARV or 40% of the ARV, that ARV element of that description means after repair value. And the only way you can determine after repair value on a property is to compare your subject to a house that was renovated. And if you have no renovated houses that are in your area, you literally cannot prove after repair value to yourself. So you know what a deal is, but you certainly can't prove it to somebody who's going to be looking at the values like an appraiser or a buyer if you're doing wholesale. Right, Dave?
That's right.
So this is the map here, right? So there's going to be all these blue
Look at all that blue. I love it.
Now, when you get a little bit closer here, you start to see the differentiation between hot areas and others, like right here in South Dakota, like there's a big hole, right? So don't look for deals in areas where nobody else is doing deals. This is a comparable driven business, which means you need comps to be able to establish if a property is even viable or not. So why would anybody spend a minute looking for deals in these areas in South Dakota when they can go to other areas where there's lots of blue and then have the stuff that they need? You don't want to be the trailblazer and try to be the one that does the first deal, right? We've got limited time, we got limited bandwidth, we got limited resources. So don't waste your time and money. There's opportunity cost, right? And every time you're looking for a deal in Hays, Kansas, right here, that's a minute you're not looking for a deal in Kansas City. Look at this big blue blob. And so what you want to do is use this information to figure out which markets you're going to choose. About a year and a half ago, Dave, I think I told you and Mel that I moved to St. Louis. And the reason why I moved to St. Louis is because I was looking for a secondary market to add to my home market, which is Colorado, but it was getting really competitive. So there was lots of competition, low inventory. It was really difficult to make, like the 1% rule work on a rental property. And it was certainly difficult to find properties that were at good discounts that would be viable for either a fix and flip or a wholesale deal. So I went on a quest for my next market, and I used this data here to choose which market I was going to go for. And I was looking between markets like Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis, and also Cleveland. And those were the markets that I looked at, right? Because they all have high investor activity. You can see like these large numbers here. So the more of that information that's present, the more information I have that's available to me to teach me the market and also give me all the information I need. Because in my opinion, the easiest way to find a deal, Dave, is to find that unrenovated house that's right next door to the house that was just fixed and flipped and sold yesterday. And then margins just appear out of thin air.
Well, your comp is right there. It's easy to determine your ARV. I agree. I 100% agree with you.
And that's great for beginners too. And I know you got a mixture of types of people here, but one of the most difficult parts of understanding what a deal is like, okay, here's a house that is unrenovated. And if you're not careful about where you look for deals and you have to use a bunch of unrenovated houses to try to figure out if this is a deal or not, then it makes it more confusing. But if you have the house right next door that was fixed and flipped and sold yesterday, and that house sold for $300,000, and you can buy this one for $150,000 and it's as is condition, well, that's a deal. That's 50% of the ARV without even really having to push hard or really search for deals. And that is one of the easiest ways to find properties, both on market and off market, is to find those unrenovated homes that are in the same neighborhoods as the renovated ones.
Yeah, I love it.
So let's dig into a market. Okay. So one of the areas that pops out to me right here, this 4,200 deals. That's a lot of activity. And I guess where it happens to be is in Chicago. Now, if I drill down here into the Illinois market, I can see that, there are certain parts of Chicagoland that are hotter than others. And when we're looking about, thinking about, okay, is there going to be renovated homes that I can use as comparables as part of my comp set? And you really want to drill down into the hot areas of where the activity is. And that happens to be right here in Southside Chicago. So if I drill down a little bit closer here, this is going to go in and these are going to break up even more. These clusters are. And then eventually I'm going to be able to see the individual properties that comprise those clusters. And now I can start to do some of my local market research so I can get comfortable with what a deal is in, say, Chicago today. Now, check this out. And this gives you just a sense of like how up to date our information is. This property closed today.
Wow.
It's a fix and flip, right? So if I click this property card right here, it opens up this report. It's called a comparative market analysis, just a fancy name for a property report where we've assembled all of the information that you need in one place to be able to look at a property, understand, the characteristics of it. Here is the photo. So if you were in an area like another one of our competitors' platforms, you wouldn't have these rich photos because these come from MLS. And none of those other platforms are using direct to MLS on scale. So you can see what kind of renovation they did. You can see what kind of materials they use. You can get design ideas if you're doing your own projects. If you're doing wholesale, these are really helpful to share with your end buyers so they can see the end result. They have a vision of, okay, if I, so-and-so has a wholesale property and they're going to sell it to me, all I got to do is do this to it. And I can also get up to a $257,000 value. If I scroll down more, I got to hear the property remarks. Again, that's from MLS, property features. We'll have agent and contact information if you are licensed. Otherwise, we'll just show you who the agent was. The system automatically pulls comparables for you. So we use the major property characteristics like square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, stories, property type, property style to automatically pull comps. And Dave, as well as I do that people get stuck with comping, right? Yes. And it sometimes is paralyzing because they don't know how to run comps. So they don't know what a deal is and it stops them from writing offers.
Well, and Benson, like you had mentioned earlier, different experience levels, right? When people are starting. So if you're thinking, well, I don't even know what I should be looking for in a comp, this CMA will build it for you. So you might be thinking, oh, I didn't even know I had to look at the square footage, or I didn't even know I had to look at XYZ. This builds it out for you and takes the thinking out of it for you. So again, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Let the system feed you the info. Like, I love that.
Yeah, it's really helpful. And for those of you that are experienced, it'll really compress all the time that you need to do. Like I'm a licensed agent. I've got 20 years of experience and I've got the MLS. But if I was going to go run comps on South Forest Avenue, it might take me a couple hours to do it properly. And that's with all of those tools and experience at my disposal. So Privy's doing this in a fraction of a second. We also give you the ability to adjust the criteria for what a comp is. So we start off with a really tight criteria here on the square footage, a 15% tolerance, plus or minus of the square feet. We're matching up stories. We're matching up property type. We're giving you a half a mile radius. All that's adjustable. So if you determine, for example, up top here, look at all these houses happen to be on the north side of this street here. So we've got a very unique home here where everything below Grant Memorial Highway is not similar enough, and we hid those. So right here, if I come into the settings and I click this button right here that says all, that actually removes the algorithm, and we'll be able to see everything that's for sale in this area, not just the houses that are most comparable. But down in here, as you can see, like this is a 3.2, 954 square feet. So the houses that are south of this highway are smaller than the ones on the north side. And so some of these we hid because they were just too small to be considered true comparables. But that's what we give you is the flexibility to right out of the gates to see the comps and or come in and adjust those criteria so you can get a better sense of what else is out there.
And
the other thing that's really cool. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
well, I was just like, I'm thinking of, again, the users, the end user that's going to be using this. Like, guys, put yourself in the shoes. Benson's a licensed real estate agent, so he has access to MLS. He just said, again, how much time would it take him to do this? And some of you might be thinking, I'm not an agent. Most of you probably think I'm not an agent. I don't have access to the MLS. This cuts out the noise for you, number one. Number two is, I see it all the time. I'm messaging real estate, and I'm not jabbing or anything, but I message real estate agents. They're busy for them to start running comps and all that. Again, you don't have to rely on other people. You can literally go in, do your comps, get the same data from the MLS, like Benson just said, and rely on yourself. You're saving a lot of time here. And again, with real estate, time is money. Well, everything, time is money, but you're getting the comps yourself. You're doing the research yourself. You're trusting your own information. This cuts out a lot of noise. Like, it
It
cuts out a
does.
lot of time.
Yeah, the time, the noise, but again, it goes back to before a platform like Privy, and it not everybody works with agents, but if you did in the past, and I'm a big fan of using agents because it's kind of like that one to many approach.
Mhm.
They most of the onus of finding a deal, running the comparables was on the agent. So there was a big bottleneck there. So things just didn't get done. But I think one of the biggest drawbacks of that process was that the investor was kind of in a silo. They didn't really know if a deal made sense. They weren't running their own comps. They weren't doing their own research. And they were really reliant around the agent to tell them, hey, this is a deal. Let's write an offer. And when you're making a huge purchase, I mean,
Mhm.
this isn't, what they bought this for. They bought this for 90 grand. This was an MLS deal. That's a lot of money. And if you're not confident with the numbers and you're relying on somebody else to give you their opinion, whether or not it makes sense, that can really hold you back. And so that's why I think a lot of investors don't take action, is because they are so reliant on others and they haven't done their own research. And they haven't really learned what a deal is yet. So one of the ways that you can get comfortable with what a deal is just by looking at what other investors have already had success with. And when we plotted all that activity on the map, those were all closed deals. So we can use history to tell us what a deal is by looking at what other investors have bought. So one of people's favorite features, and this is one of mine too, Dave, is this before and after. This property was purchased from the MLS. So this is what it looked like before it was fixed up. Here's the interior pictures. I mean, this is just, it's crazy what they did to this place to make it look the
Beautiful.
way it does. But here's the kitchen. I mean, here's the before and the after. So they bought this right here for 90 grand. They fixed it up and they sold it for 257,000. So they
Beauty.
bought this from the MLS, Dave, for 35% of the after repair value.
Okay, and I just saw someone watching from Myanmar, and Benson had said again, this is meant for people to buy in the US. Doesn't matter where, like I'm located north of Toronto in Canada. And think about this, okay? Look at this before and after. This literally gives me the blueprint. I can get to know the market. I can look at what the after repair value, what the level of renovation needs to be. So think about it. Long distance investor here from Chicago, Illinois, right? I could look at what needs to be done. I can talk to, my property manager, the contractor, saying, this is the type of level that I'm going to need. Walk through, give me a price. And then again, when you're building out your strategy, like Benson had mentioned earlier, is okay, is it going to be 50K? Is it going to be 100K? And then you'll be able to know, again, look at what's sold. This is the level that I need to be able to get this top dollar. Give me an accurate quote. You're not guessing. You know what the market, what the appetite is. Again, guys, it's cutting out time and noise for you. Like the before and after is huge.
And it's fun too. I mean, this is why we watch the fix and flip shows, right? We want to see this dramatic transformation. With this though, there's less noise. Like we don't get that, all of the stuff that happens during the show, the funny mishaps and people tripping, and right before a commercial break, somebody almost falls, right, and they come back and everyone's fine, right? Like that. Those are fun too. But this is the real nuts and bolts of getting a deal done. And so this is great education for people who are just trying to figure it out, but just also where the market's at. Below that, we have the information about the house itself. So this house was in foreclosure back in 2021. You can see they actually bought this from an auction. Over here, assessor's records, we can see who did this deal. So we can see who owns it. And in the mortgage history, if there was a mortgage on it, we would see that right here. And the property history here is really helpful because we can see, the buying and the back and forth of this thing. So when they bought this thing, it was Nicole Redding and Andre Skurlock bought this thing. Remember, I said for 90 grand back in July of last year. So this project took quite a while for them to do. But that was like right in the heart of the after effects of COVID. So supply chain issues, permitting backlogs, like this took quite a while to do, but we got all this information here. So we know if I'm a wholesaler or if I'm an agent looking for buyers, then Andre and Nicole would be two people I would be considering reaching out to. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the first things that I did when I first went to St. Louis was I wanted to find buyers out there because I wanted to wholesale first just to get my feet wet and really just understand what was going on with the market. And so all I did was I just looked at all of these other properties that were flipped, and that would come down to the public record section down here. And I would say, okay, who was the flipper on this? And I was able to build a really good buyers list without ever having set foot there. Rental Ready LLC is the company that bought this one. Rental Ready LLC. So they bought it for 50, sold it for 180. This one was an off-market acquisition. The last one was an on-market deal. But look at this. They got this thing at 28% of the after repair value.
Wow.
So, and that's some of the stuff that you can get from this local market research, you guys, is like, where are they buying properties from? How long are these processes taking? One of the things that you have to factor in when you're running your numbers is carrying costs. And if you think that a property is going to be able to turn around in, 2 months, but it takes everybody else 6 months, well, that's something you should consider. But these guys, they were in and out of this thing quickly. Look at that, 75 days.
Wow.
And they were able to flip this house. That's fast.
That is fast. That's awesome.
And then they priced it right. They didn't price it to where it sold the first day, but they didn't price it to where it took 60 days. They got it right in that sweet spot. So only 110 days between when they bought it and when they relisted it and sold it. So this is how you can do your market research, you guys. This is how you can become a local market expert, really understand the local market realities of what's going on there, get confident with your numbers so you can start taking action. You can do this remotely. You can do this in your own backyard. And then once you've done that, then you can start looking for leads. So there's two ways to get leads. There's off-market leads and there's on-market leads, and we do both here. So right here in the filter, I can come in and I can actually switch this and look for off-market leads. And this is some of the ones that we have, like vacancies, tired landlords, absentee owners, foreclosures, people who have owned houses for over 20 years. And there's lots of other filters here where you can really drill down on specifically what you're looking for. But if you like the off-market game, we give you up to 10,000 leads per month for free with your Privy subscription. So there's lots of different ways you can leverage this data to find off-market leads, but you can also use this to build a buyer's list. So right here, these are all sold properties. There's a buyer, basically like a fix and flipper, attached to every one of these deals. I could literally just click download and it'll export this into a CSV file. And then I can, take that and go and skip trace it, or I could, put it into my CRM or one of those other, marketing activities, but we'll give you way more leads than you need. But that off-market strategy is going to be way more effective right here in this part of Chicago than it would have been if I had tried to pull a list of just say homeowners who were in foreclosure in Hays, Kansas, because I might have this list of foreclosures of a bunch of people in Hays, but there's no fix and flips. So how am I going to turn a property that is available in Hays into a deal? The only way I can turn it into a deal is by submitting a really low ball offer, because now I have to compare that acquisition price to unrenovated homes. And to get that same margin, that's why low balls happen. And this is where a lot of investors go wrong, because they're targeting low investor activity areas. They have to submit low ball offers because all of the ARVs, well, really there is none, are determined by unrenovated homes, because the sales history of renovated homes doesn't exist. But here in Chicago, you can actually literally write offers at asking price, or give a seller who's in foreclosure a much higher price, because now we're comparing that acquisition price to renovated homes. So that pulls our offer up. When we have higher values, we can submit a higher offer, and that will increase the chances of your offers being accepted.
Mm-hmm. Again, it comes back to saving time, right? Investing again. A lot of different ways. We're hitting the checkbox on a lot of different things to save you time here. Investing where it makes sense, doing your comps how it makes sense. That's the reoccurring theme here: is saving you time and getting into deals quicker and taking action, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Thays, yes, we will have a discount for you guys here in a moment. But let me just walk you through the rest of this flow here, because I like to build it up and show you how you can actually find viable deals like right now. So, get a piece of pencil, a piece of paper out, pencil, and write some addresses down here, because I'm going to show you some deals that are really good discounts. So right here, we have this button that says find similar active deals. This is actually patent pending, but what it does is we're reverse engineering all of these closed deals, and our system is using those as a model for what a successful deal looks like. So with the simple click of a button and zero marketing costs, you're not having to skip trace or cold call or knock on anybody's door. You don't have to go sit at the kitchen table of somebody who's in foreclosure and have an uncomfortable conversation about them losing their house. I've been there. I've done it. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. There's a better way. Now, again, can you do off market in Privy? Absolutely. But that's been done. Been there, done that. What I'm showing you now is the low hanging fruit, how we've been able to leverage algorithms and automation to automatically find discounted deals, which is really what we're trying to do anyway. We're trying to find motivated sellers, and we're trying to find properties at a discount where we can make money, right? And that's what this process is doing for us. Now, I'm going to adjust this here because the default algorithm looks at 75% or lower. That 75%, that would work in Denver, that would work in LA, and it would work in Portland and Seattle, but it won't work in Chicago because the competition is paying lower. So I'm going to scroll this down here, and I'm going to lower this to say 55% of the ARV. And let's say also too, I wanted to wholesale, and I was able to get a hold of this what was it, Ready Made LLC. I can't remember what they were called, but maybe they told me, Benson, I am looking for deals, but I don't want to spend more than 150 grand. So we can essentially build the buy box of our properties in the system, or the buy box of our buyers here, and then use the automation to go out and search for deals that match that specific deal criteria. So I'll go ahead and I'll rerun this. And now Privy's going in and it's analyzing all these properties. And now it's going to show us houses that we can buy right now. So look at these places. So this house right here, Dave, it just came on the market yesterday. It's 119 grand. You can see here, this needs some love, but it looks okay. I don't see cracks or water coming in. I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
It's a 3-2. In the property, this system found this deal because when we pull comparables, we're now going to compare the ask price of this home to the price of the comps. And because we are looking in an area where there's renovated homes, we can see here that we got houses where we can buy this one for 120,000, and the closest comp that was flipped went for 230. Now that one is actually an active comp. It hasn't sold yet. It's been on the market for 90 days, but this one sold for 245. This one sold and this one is under contract for 250. So this house at asking price is right around 50% of the ARV. Remember, I said it at 55% or lower. So without having to go out and do a bunch of searching and bouncing around to different websites, or waiting on an agent to send me a deal, or getting into the sales process through off market and cold calling and skip tracing and doing ringless voicemail and text blasting, this one fell right into our lap, and it looks decent. Mm-hmm. Certainly worth a look. Wouldn't you say, Dave?
Yeah, 100%. That was easy.
Super easy. So that's just one example. Let's look at another one. This one is way more beat up, but look at this, 40 grand, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I mean, it's got, it's got the things that make you want to run. But this thing, let's look at the comparables on this one. And look at all of these flips. So the ones that we identify as flips, the ones that were red on the map before I switched it over, are these ones here. And so this house actually happens to be very similar to other homes in the neighborhood. And so this house, the closest sold flip went for 224. And that was only a 2-2. Ours is a 3-1. And so this house that we can buy for 40,000, if we compare it to this house that was just flipped, is at 18% of the ARV at asking price for an on-market MLS deal that we had to do 0 marketing for.
That's awesome.
18%.
And I hope what Benson said, like, I just want to drive the point home, guys, is you're giving them asking price. Again, like Benson said, you're not lowballing, you're more likely to actually get it. And then there's still meat on the bone for you to make money. So again, it's thinking bigger picture. So yes, you're giving them asking price. You've looked at the comps. There is still a lot of meat on the bone. You're not wasting your time trying to lowball, the next person to say yes. So there's a strategy here, right? There's a system in place to get you deals so you can take action and get rolling. I like it.
Yeah, and you certainly can give them lower than ask price too, because I mean, who doesn't want a deal? And that's actually one of the things, if you are going to wholesale with this, unless you have buyers that are just really just, all about the numbers. I've got buyers who I work with in St. Louis. They don't care if, they have to pay $5,000 over asking price, as long as it still meets their percentage of ARV numbers, right? Because they just need the margins to work. But there are some buyers out there who just want to feel good, like they got a deal. And so, in this one, maybe I would offer 30 grand, right? And then maybe I have to, negotiate a bit and come up to, 32.5. And then I might give it to my buyer for 35,000 and I make a quick $2,500, but I didn't do anything. I mean, it would be like the fastest $2,500 I've ever made. And those are the kinds of strategies you can do nationwide. And if you are in Canada, or if you're in Miramar, or, if you're someplace that's remote or virtual from the market you've chosen, that is a really easy way to just get some cash flow coming through. And then you can start to collect that information, or get some liquidity, collect that cash. And the next thing you know, you have, 10, 15, $20,000 in your bank. And now you're thinking, okay, well, shoot, maybe it's time to start putting some stuff in a portfolio. Maybe it's time to start finding some properties that I can start to get passive income with. And that's where this gets really exciting right here, is with this rental data. So Dave mentioned this earlier, that we have rental data inside of Privy so that you can analyze properties from both a discount perspective, but also from a cash flow perspective, where maybe you want to do the BRRRR approach, buy, rent, renovate, buy, renovate, refinance, repeat. That's one strategy, but we have all that rental data here. So that allows you to analyze them from a cash flow perspective as well.
Well, especially for, the people that are watching this right now and after the fact, you might be thinking, okay, I might flip once or twice, get some quick cash flow, up my reserves. But for the buy and hold investors, exactly like Benson is saying, is this is going to help you determine your cash flow, your ratios and all that with the rent comparables.
Yep. And here's an example of one of the rental comps. So you can see here, this comes from the property management company.
Perfect.
You can see that this is, $1,250 per month. And then you can see the actual listing too. So this is a rental listing that property management companies put out there. We've got over 130 million rental comp data points nationwide. And so you can look for rental properties anywhere, and we'll have that best information available for you.
Again, Benson, kind of like you had the comps earlier, some people still don't know what they don't know. And if you're thinking, I've never listed a place, I've never put in an ad to rent a place, you can literally get hundreds of examples as to places that I've rented, right? What to say, what to put in the description. Like there's all these secondary benefits that you're getting by having this information from literally property management companies who do this for a living. Like, you're piggybacking on the info, all as part of the Privy. So it's just, again, it's looking at all the whole picture here, guys, and seeing the absolute benefits you get, which are just huge.
And I wanted to switch over here to show you guys, a different market, how it looks.
That's where we met in person, Benson, in Tampa.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to pop down here, is because there's properties right here in Tampa that could be viable deals. And, Privy can find them anywhere. So it isn't, we chose that high investor activity in Chicago because it looked so good, but this is the Tampa market. And if I come down here, in the description, investor's dream, it actually has, some of those keywords that some people like to use to go out and find properties. But this house right here, the reason why we flag this house as a deal is because you can buy it for $375. And there's a house that was recently flipped right down the way that sold for $603,000. And so you can see the numbers here, that this is a potentially viable deal. Now it does have one fewer bedroom and one fewer bathroom, but you can either see if you can fit that in there. And if you can't, you can make an adjustment, but this would still be a potentially good deal. And all you have to do to this house is what the people did on this house right here. And you have yourself a potential deal, but you got the blueprint, as you said earlier.
You've got the blueprint, you follow it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. This will help you find the markets, find the deals. It'll show you the level of renovation you need to do if you're doing a flip. It'll show you the rental costs if you're being a buy and hold investor and you're doing a BRRRR. Like, you do not need to reinvent the wheel. Knowledge is power. And that's what I love about Privy, is it jam-packs so much into it. Like, I love going on Privy, Benson. I use it all the time. I love the reminders, or when they give you notifications as well. Like, there's a lot of things that it literally feeds you the info. Like, it's a real estate investor's dream. Like, it gives you the information right at your fingertips from the MLS. Like, anyway, I can't say enough about it. Mel and I use it all the time.
And you mentioned the alerts. That's the next step here.
Yeah.
So once I have,
yeah.
Well, once you've created the search that you like, you can come in here to the filter, and you can just click save search, give the search a name, and you can get automated alerts up to every hour. So if you've got a 9 to 5 job and you're busy, you've got family responsibilities, or it's just, it's the weekend and you're at church or you're doing things with the family, like there is a way to get these alerts so you don't have to be in the system all day. So all at that point, all you have to do is just check your email and you have these deals just showing up in your inbox. We have one of our users told us that every morning he was like waking up on Christmas. He would just roll over, open up his computer, get right in there to see what Santa Claus sent him the night before. And that's how he viewed it. And he was always excited because it was like kid on Christmas Day, getting that Xbox for the first time, and he just wanted to play it all day. And that's what Privy is. It's a fun tool that you will enjoy using and playing with, but it will literally deliver you deals that could make you tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending upon if you use the strategy the way that I described to you today.
So one of the biggest things we do get, right? Mel and I are all over social media and our DMs. How do you find deals? How do you find markets and that type of thing? So this is a valid question that people have, and a concern and a roadblock or a hurdle or an obstacle, whatever you want to put. Where do I find deals? How do I have the time to do this? So if that is you, which a lot of people are in that boat, in that situation, why not? Okay, this is my obstacle. This is my hurdle. Well, why not have something that can help you overcome it? Like Benson just showed you, it's set and forget. And I shouldn't say forget, but you set this will literally feed you deals to your inbox. So there's no excuses, right? It's take the time, set it up, do the market research, right? Have the save feature and the filter. And then why not be Christmas morning every morning or every other day, whenever the system finds you something, and you've literally taken that excuse, thrown it out the window, because now you're fed deals in the markets that you're interested in, right? Like, again, 2024 is around the corner. Why not give yourself the best advantage possible? Which, again, I love that feature. I have it. It is kind of like Christmas morning, right? When you're fed the deals in your box, you're like, you can't get any easier than literally the system feeding you deals. Like, come on.
Oh, I know. And then again, if you've leveraged that strategy with the high investor activity areas that you're targeting, then you can offer on those on-market deals that are the low hanging, and you will win those bids because you're doing it differently, right? This paradigm shift, I think, will be really effective for anybody who's out there. And for those of you who maybe are having a challenge with accountability, or just want to be part of a community, like, you should definitely consider looking at the Action Family, because that's what they do. They are out there building a community, building systems and processes, and helping you so you don't have to go and recreate the wheel. You can avoid the pitfalls. You can avoid the loss of time and money by trying to figure it out on your own and just use a proven method. And that's what they do. So if you haven't considered looking at the Action Family, or if you're already part of it, great. If you're not, you should definitely look deeper into it, because Mel and Dave are amazing.
Yeah, appreciate that, Benson. And as you're saying that, I'm just thinking, because some people too, sometimes they'll be like, hey, I want to join the Action Family. What's the investment to join? If you're just starting out, right, this could be an awesome opportunity, right? You get Privy, you find a couple of deals, you either wholesale them, like Benson said, you flip them, you make some cash, you want to go to the next level, you need a coach or a mentor. So that's the thing, like, these could be coupled together and really help you get to the next level. And I know Action Family members are already using Privy as well. Like I said, Mel and I have been doing this for 23 combined years. We're in 5 different countries, and in the US, like, it's a no-brainer to use Privy. Like, now the way that I used to do things, and all over Zillow, all over LoopNet, it's like, why not just have one platform that feeds you the information and cuts out the noise and saves you time? So whether you're a beginner or a seasoned investor, it's just a user-friendly platform to use. If you're not using it already, definitely give yourself, sorry guys, I think I stopped the screen there. Yeah, definitely give yourself the leg up in the real estate investing world, right? Especially with the new year coming around. Don't be shy.
Yeah, I just switched from screen share from the app to slides. Do you see my slides now?
Definitely see it.
Perfect. So for those of you, like, just to kind of wrap up here, and again, thanks for watching. Some people get a little scared by technology, thinking, oh my God, I can barely work my smartphone. How am I going to use some software and technology and automation to find deals, right? We've been doing this for 10 years. So we've worked it so that the user interface is really intuitive. It's fun to use. Like people have compared Privy to like other softwares, and it's like Apple versus Android, right? Like that's how fun it is to use, and that's how intuitive it is. And we've got a lot of live training. So we do live training Tuesdays and Thursdays twice a week, and we got a bunch of on-demand training too if you're one of those ones that are what do you self-teach. And I do a lot of trainings like this on my social medias and stuff. So lots of opportunities. You won't be left behind. We don't just sell you a piece of software and then disappear in the night. We're really big about support. We have got team members that will answer your questions live all the time, as well as on those live trainings. But when I first started this, I wanted you to realize that this system will work regardless of what your final strategy is. And, you know, every good investor has multiple exit strategies anyway, because every deal doesn't fit into the same bucket. So that's why Privy is so good, is that you can look at a property and think, okay, you know, that doesn't make sense as a wholesale or a fix and flip, but the rents in that market are great. So it would be a great rental. Or you might look at a house and say, man, look at the interest rate on that house. It's at 3%. If I can get the seller to carry back a second, then I can make the numbers work, right? So all of these strategies work with Privy regardless of your exit strategy, but also your level of experience. A lot of our users, one of our friends in the family mastermind has his students use Privy as well, and 70% of all of his students find their very first deal on Privy. So if you're brand new, we'll help you find your first deal. If you are experienced and you're just looking for better ways of adding efficiencies to your business, better data, better other strategies, then we'll help you really turn on the jets on your business. And this is an example of some of those people that are having success. He's actually a real estate agent and an investor, and he's been in the business for 25 years, but he uses the exact same strategy that I just showed you, and he's closed over 300 deals that he found exactly the way I just showed you guys. It's made him millions of dollars. Now, that's not typical, but if you are someone who really just applies yourself and does the things you're supposed to do, this is possible. This is Mahmoud Isa. He actually does wholesale in the Tampa market. And at the point when I did the interview with him, he had done over $600,000 in just assignments, not fix and flip revenue or profit. This was assignments in about a year, which is absolutely crazy. This is Michelle. Her and her partner, Paul, they travel the world just doing virtual wholesale. Privy is one of the biggest tools that they use to find deals. And she sent me a text one time and said that she had found a deal in Colorado, my home market. So she snatched it right up from underneath me. But it was a $30,000 on market assignment, and she did it with zero marketing. So this is just some of the testimonials there. We've got thousands of users who use Privy all across the globe. But again, it's all about the systematic approach, putting some processes in place, setting it. You don't have to forget it, but you know, if you're busy, that's okay too. But it's going to save you a huge amount of time. You're gonna get a bunch of your time back so you can focus on money-making activities and not tedious tasks that just bog you down and really never allow you to go and take action. But like I said earlier, one of the coolest benefits that comes out of this is the confidence in your numbers. Because if you're not confident in what the value is in its as is condition, and you know you're in a low investor activity area, so you don't know what the ARVs are, when you put yourself in those scenarios, you're going to paralyze yourself. You're not going to understand the values. You're not going to know what a deal is, and you probably won't take action. And if you do, what most people do is they submit lowball offers because they're like, man, if I offer $1 on this house, it's certainly going to be a deal. Will that offer be accepted? No. But that's what people eventually do when they don't have accuracy in their numbers and a true understanding of what a deal is.
They're throwing Hail Marys out there, right? Hoping that something's gonna stick or catch or yeah.
So this is the regular price for Privy, $1,788 for the full year. But if you do take action today and you want to come on board with the promo code OPM, the links are there in the chat. That'll bring the annual price down all the way to $1,252 for the year. So that'll save you a bunch of money, And if you just looked at, two of those deals that I found there at the end, and I was barely even trying, would certainly cover this $1,252. And that's only if you found one deal in a year. If you were like Christian or Mahmoud or Michelle, you would certainly be being sent dozens and dozens of deals every single day. All you got to do is just understand what those numbers make sense, submit those offers, get deals under contract, and then choose which path you want to take them down.
Yeah, it's a great deal, especially even with the code as well. It's great value, right? It's to me, it's a no brainer. Honestly, if you're going to be an investor and you're looking in the US, why not get this software, the system that allows you countless benefits like we discussed today.
Yep. And then for those of you where maybe the timing isn't right, there's some other things coming up, expenses, gifts, and stuff we have to think about for the holiday season. But why wouldn't this make a good gift, right? I've never really thought about it before, but how cool would it be if you got Privy for Christmas? Like, I'd be stoked, right? Because some people just, they're spread out. But if it doesn't make sense for you on the annual plan, you can go and use the same OPM promo code, and we'll lower the price down to $119 for the first month. And then after that, it's only $149 a month. So we have that option there as well for people where the timing just doesn't make sense.
I like that. With the holidays around the corner, if you have that person, whether it's yourself, you want to give yourself a gift, or it's that, your partner, your spouse, who you're like, oh, they've been talking about real estate forever. How about I get them this leg up? And here, happy holidays. You've got this program, the software, this program. Go do it now in 2024. You know what I mean? So this could be that leg up that they need, right? That kick in the That's awesome.
Oh yeah. So promo code OPM. If you have questions, then you can send those to support@privy.pro. And we've got our team there to answer any questions for you. But I recommend you to go and take action. Like, this is, for a lot of people, taking action is the first hurdle. And once you take action and you have some positive results, then everything else after that kind of becomes easier. You've proven to yourself, like, yeah, I can take action. I can go and get the software. You got some skin in the game now. Now it's like, okay, well, tomorrow or this weekend on Saturday, instead of watching college football, I'm going to write offers on deals. I'm going to go make some money, because now you have the tools and the support that you need with this community.
Love it. Thank you so much, Benson.
Yes.
It's awesome. I always love chatting with you. You guys have a great, software program offer. I absolutely love. Whoop, kick Benson out there for a second. I know you guys have a great product. Mel and I use it. We love partnering with people that are doing amazing things, doing great things in the real estate space, and that's definitely you guys at Privy. Again, guys, I love what he said. It's a great program. It's a great software. It's a great tool. It's going to leg you up. 2024 is around the corner. They're giving a gracious discount to our community. Thank you so much, Benson. I appreciate that. If you're going to do this, you might as well take action. You might as well get this going. Don't let anything stand in the way. Benson just told you there's 2 live sessions a week as well. If you have questions, there's tons of Q&A going on, all of that stuff. So again, don't let any excuse get in the way. If you're going to do it, you might as well get the discount. You might as well get up and rolling, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, right? I wish someone would have bought this for me years ago as a nice gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, Benson, I appreciate having you on. It's been, I can't believe the hour flew like that. Oh my gosh, it went by so quickly, but that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Tell Mel thank you as well. And I appreciate everybody coming in, checking it out. And, let us know if you have questions. There's a chance, Facebook user, that we would have Canada there, but I don't see that happen in the near future. However, like I said before, go to where the investor activity is, right? So, look for hot areas where deals are being done and target those. And some of those are in the US. There might be some great ones in Canada too, but we certainly give you the ability to do some deals here and generate some great cash flow.
I agree. Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.